last year in New Jersey, heroin deaths in our state are up 160% since 2010, and we suffered more than 1,200 overdose-related deaths. So this is really an epidemic. Now, I recently held a listening session with key addiction treatment stakeholders in New Jersey to address this growing crisis, and to a person, the issue that came up most frequently, there are many, but the one that came up across the spectrum as the most substantial barrier to addiction treatment was the limitation on a provider's ability to conduct medication-assisted treatment. As you may know, these limitations cap a provider's ability to treat at most 100 patients. Now, with the number of people seeking treatment far outpacing the number of providers who can help, it seems to me that this is an outdated limitation and tying providers' hands and limiting treatment to those who need it the most. So I would certainly like to see a broader provider universe, but when something is an epidemic, you need to figure out that maybe an artificial cap at one time is now not the reality of the moment. So while I appreciate the administration's bold request for additional funds in this area and intend to be as supportive vigorously of it as I can, what can we do to increase the access to medication-assisted treatment, and what further efforts can the department take under its current authorities?
So I think that's specifically in the case of buprenorphine, that specific drug in terms of the medication and that specific type of medication-assisted treatment. And right now we are actually in the middle of changing our regulations and proposals and using as much of our administrative authority as possible to change that. And so that's something that I would expect to happen this year. With buprenorphine, as Senator Portman indicated, it is a place where the questions of diversion of it and use are the things that we want to make sure. I think we believe that we can expand those caps and move those numbers without creating that problem, but that's what we're working on right now, using our administrative authorities. I'd also reflect that as part of the budget. In the budget, there is a proposal to actually expand the ability for trained people in correct settings. In other words, making sure that beyond physicians might be able to use it. Meeting certain criteria. So there are two fronts we're working on. One is within the budget. The other is administrative action we're taking where we think we can get that.
I'd appreciate if your staff would keep us abreast of how that administrative function is moving.